Hey guys, it's TJ Anthony here. Thank you for joining us for 21 Next tonight. There's a lot of topics we need to get into today, so there's a lot to fill you in on. Let's go ahead and start with this I-83 crash, this update. So this is a story we've been following for months now, really about a year. So there's an update. Someone has been charged in the crash where 3 construction workers were killed. So you're taking a look at the man that's been accused and charged in all of this. His name is Reed Davenport. So this is a look at him walking into his arraignment today. CBS 21 had our cameras rolling there as he walked in. Now he's accused of crashing into 3 construction workers on I-83 in York County, unfortunately killing them all. There's 3. The name of the 3 are Robert Hamp, Philson Heinbaugh, and Jesse McKenzie, guys. And their families have been waiting for justice in this case. And we're finally learning more about what is going on and who's being charged for this. I mean, we brought you team coverage of this when it first happened a year ago. Let's go ahead and bring in CBS 21's Maxine Rose. Maxine, you were there when the district attorney of York had a lot of updates about this case earlier today. You were at his press conference. Talk about what he was saying in that presser.
Yeah, so it was interesting because we had seen the charges previously, before this press conference today, but we really got the chance to hear from him as to what the reasoning behind each of those charges. And by the way, long list of charges, why they decided to do those, or to file those, I should say. So the main reason here being impairment. That kind of prolonged the investigation, he was saying, just because they had to really look into all of that. And what I mean by impairment, right? When we think of impairment, it might not be what I'm about to tell you, right? So fatigue might be a way that someone could be impaired. But also, we have to remember too, right, that THC, marijuana, can also cause impairment. And so that was something that they had to look into, not only looking at the crash, the scene, breaking all of that down, figuring out exactly what happened. Another interesting point, too, TJ, is that they said a FedEx truck had also caught kind of what happened on their dash cam. So looking at all that, but then the toxicology results that take a long time to really figure out. Was he under the influence during that time frame? Well, toxicology results says yes, even though Reed Davenport had told officials at the time that he had not had any controlled substance and that he had really just been tired because he didn't get enough sleep and he had been taking care of newborn puppies, just a day or so before the crash happened. So again, TJ, we really got a extensive, I should say, look, an hour long discussion with the DA today, explaining, why it's so important to look at all of these different things and why it unfortunately took so long for the families of those victims to get these answers.
Yeah, and thankfully now they do have, just some answers as to what happened and, who's being charged with this. So, Max, and of course, we know, this story will continue to develop. Thank you for,
Yeah,
just going to that presser and giving us the up-to-date information. Of course, we will continue following this story, guys.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Well, there's an update with the Broad Street Market in Harrisburg, but it's not an update with the building. It's an update with someone that used to work at that market. Now, as you know, they have been really trying to rebuild for some time now, that market. And now we know that a former manager for the Broad Street Market is pleading guilty to embezzling thousands of dollars from the market. So Thaddeus Monroe was charged with felony theft. This was back in last August. Now, what's interesting with this is the market's treasurer noticed money going to different things not involving the market. That includes Uber rides and grocery store expenses as well. So a lot of people, at the market were kind of upset when it came to the sentencing in this. So his sentence is 10 hours of community service and he has to pay back the money. So some people didn't think that was, as harsh of a sentence, being that it's just 10 hours of community service and paying back that money. So you can find more on, what people thought and, why they reacted the way they did. That'll be on our website, cbs21.com. All right, guys. And then we also have, a story to tell you about Governor Shapiro. He's been in the headlines a lot recently, particularly around the governor's residence, where it unfortunately was caught on fire by an arsonist on Sunday. And we do, of course, know that suspected arsonist right now is in custody and is behind bars as well. He is being charged. But so Governor Shapiro and his family, they really wanted to thank first responders just for how swiftly that they showed up to the scene and just their professionalism throughout all of this. There's a look at him at a fire department in Harrisburg, just, talking with first responders and just really just thanking them, showing them his gratitude for just their work they did, especially that night. I mean, we've reported on a ton of fires just throughout central Pennsylvania over the years. I mean, you've heard about them. But really, I got the chance to talk to Fire Chief Brian Ederline of the Harrisburg Fire Department. And he just said this case, he knew as soon as he walked into the scene, this was not an ordinary fire. So there's a look at Ederline there, as well as Governor Shapiro and his wife. And he was just really happy to get the chance just to thank them in person for their hard work. And it's always a good thing when our first responders can be recognized just for all the hard work that they do. And then we have another story, this time involving a track college team in it's Thaddeus Stevens College. So they were placed top 10. There's a look at all of them right there. They were placed top 10 in track teams across the country, guys. This is an incredible accomplishment. Track is not easy. I ran track in high school. It was very hard for me to keep up on the track. So big shout out to them in their accomplishment and being able to just show up and show out and just show what Central Pennsylvania has to offer. So the men's were placed 6th and women's were placed 9th, and that's across the country. So that is an incredible goal. They were, up against so many people and so many track teams out there. So a big congrats to them. Great job, guys. Keep doing amazing things. All right, guys, let's take a look at your weather. We know Easter Sunday is ahead. A lot of you guys have Sunday service plans. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this forecast is looking like. So we've been having some pretty consistent rainy weekends the past few weeks, unfortunately. But it looks like, okay, Saturday, we're going to have to deal with the rain. Sunday, thankfully, it's looking nicer. I mean, the high is 70 on Sundays and the low is 50. So, if you have a nice Easter fit, you want to show off, a nice tie suit. Women, you want to show up, a nice Easter dress. You can do it, not have to worry about being cold while doing it too. So it looks like it's going to be an amazing Easter Sunday. You guys can get out there, maybe enjoy a nice brunch outside. You want to run inside just to get away from the cold. So that'll be nice because we've been having some pretty cold days. And now Monday, though, we're back to the rain. So we get a break on Sunday. Saturday, unfortunately, we have rain, a break Sunday. Monday, we're back to light rain. But we still are keeping it pretty warm. The high is 66. The low is only 52. So the low actually goes up from Sunday from 50 to 52. Tuesday, the sun comes back out with the high of 68. Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy with that high coming right up to 74. That is incredible. But guys, we will get a taste of just what Wednesday will look like, just a peek of it on Friday. So tomorrow, 75 is the high for tomorrow. It'll be breezy too. So some sunshine, some nice breeze in the face. That is going to feel incredible, especially before we get to next Thursday, where we won't have the sun. It'll go back into hiding, unfortunately. But that high is still going to be high with 74 up there. So that'll be incredible, guys. All right. Well, I hope you all have a great Thursday. I hope you have a great Easter weekend as well, guys. Thanks for watching 21 Next.